Question is, do I still know how to record after my little hiatus? But I'm back and I figured it out. And yes, I do still know how to record. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. And I've been gone for a long time. I had to take a hiatus from YouTube and I'm going to talk all about it in just a moment. But if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup, but please just call me Ash or Ashley. Now, eyeshadow truly is my jam and this look is yes. So, my friend Terra, Beauty in the Frizz, if you're not subscribed to her, go ahead and subscribe to her. Thank you. Tell her I sent you. She tagged me like 2 weeks ago and she came up with a Renaissance challenge. So it was about the Renaissance album and picking out what eyeshadow palettes we felt that went along with that particular album. So I had to get ready to film that video. So I felt like maybe this would be a good segment or a good intro video to tell you what's been going on in my life, where I've been, and why I had to take a breather and a hiatus from YouTube. So I still love YouTube. I still love makeup, but it was just a lot going on and I've been stressed and everything's been coming at me at once. So I just, like I said, I will talk about it in just a second. But I decided, let's go ahead, let's get ready so I can present the next video to you. And I am recreating my look that I wore to the Renaissance tour. So I did not do the stones at the Renaissance tour, but I did this exact eyeshadow look and these are actually some Terra Moon shadows and my Glam Shop shadows. So I'm going to show you the shadow names as I get ready and I'm going to do my full face. We're going to chat about where I've been so we don't need to drag out this intro. And I decided to add on the stones and I'll show you that as well. And I just figured we catch up while I get ready to film. So, welcome. Let's go ahead and get the video started. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time since I said those words, since I've done any filming. And I'm going to go ahead and prime with Contemplative State. This is by MAC. It's a MAC paint pot. And the trick is sometimes, like, don't over prime because it's very easy. And I'm just taking a little spatula to scoop it out. And I'm just going to place it on my eyelids. So, yeah, I thought that, I would just pull out some shades when I'm going to the Beyonce concert. And it's like, okay, I'm going to do silver. I was in theme. I was festive. I was with it. So, like I said, I haven't really been wearing makeup lately. But every once in a while, some will make it on my eyelids. Like, you know how I tell you that I don't even go outside without my eyebrows filled in or try not to because I look like I'm going through something and that's not really the impression I'm trying to give. But I mean, went outside without any eyebrows on. Even the days where I'm not going through anything. So yeah, it's just been a really interesting last few months. So I just had to take a break, you guys. And I love YouTube. I still love makeup, but it was just not a priority at the moment. And honestly, I'm just going to put a little bit more primer on this eyelid. I just had to just take a break for real because my grandmother got very sick. Now, she had a very great long life. This is my mother's mother. And side note, one thing I figured out, I was like, okay, it doesn't matter what might be going on with me. I could be sick or not. I'm going to live to be a long time. Both of my grandmothers lived to be, one was 94. She would have been 97. No. She would have been close to almost like 98 or 99 by now. But she lived to be 94. This is my dad's mother with congestive heart failure. And then my mother's mother, she had a couple bouts of breast cancer. She had breast cancer when I was younger in life, basically. And she had a mastectomy, so I always grew up knowing that the fact that my grandmother had one breast. You know, she wore prosthesis because this is like the 80s, this is the early 90s before, you know, they did any type of treatment or any type of reconstructive surgery. So apparently that came back. She hid it from us. I get it, but it's just like, it sucks because she was such a vibrant person. This is going to be Phobos, and this is by Terra. So it's like a little grayish shade. I'm going to take this in the transition. Might be the brush I used. Like, I haven't really cleaned my brushes too much either. So, you know, she got really sick. She was in the hospital. She got a urinary tract infection. If you know anything about urinary tract infections, they can just be very harmful, and then they could be very detrimental to you when you're elderly. And she was 93, so she had a great long life. She lived by herself up until May, and she was very vibrant. She loves some purple eyeshadow, baby. That was her color. Purple eyeshadow with everything, okay? My grandmother also loved to send cards. Like, Hallmark, you have lost a very big customer. That was her thing, and the post office, okay? So she loved to send cards. You would literally get a thank you card for a thank you card sometimes. And, oh, if your birthday card was not up to par, honey, she would tell you. So, you know, it was just really hard. So she doesn't live here in Chicago. She lives in East St. Louis, Illinois, which is right across the Mississippi River from St. Louis. So it's downstate Illinois. So it is like about a 3.5 hour, really more like 3.5, almost 4 hour drive. But there's been a lot of construction on the highway, so it just depends. So I've been working, and you know, I'll get off of work, and then my mother and I will drive down there, maybe stay 1 or 2 days, come right back, same thing. And you know, it's hard because I'm doing that on my off days, which is typically the days that I would film YouTube, and then I can't do that. So and then to like make matters worse, basically, when I was going to film a video, and this is basically when the Natasha Denona Yucca palette came out, and they had I have all these dupes in my collection, so I was like, I'm not going to purchase that, you know. I'm going to take Rigel by Terra, and I have done a video on all these shades, so I'll try to remember to link it down below, because these are shades that I actually did like a little swatch party on, and it is actually in my library for Terra. And I'm just going to go ahead with this Blend Buddy Cosmetics blush. This is a B1. The brush before was a 503. This is the Angie Hot and Flashy collection from BK Beauty. And I'm just going to work this in the crease. I guess it's the brush I use. I don't know, child. But here we go. This is such a beautiful color, bluish gray. Love it. And I did look with this shade before on my channel. I was just like, oh my gosh, I gotta use these shades. I gotta use these shades. And it's just gonna be perfect, you know, for this look. So hope you guys can see me okay. I have filmed some videos in this setup. So, you know, that was going on. We knew the prognosis wasn't great. You know, everybody's like, okay, you know, I hope she gets better. And you do hope she gets better, but in reality, we knew what was coming. And so around the July 4th holiday, well, no, June 26th, she ended up passing. And I was actually filming when I found out that she passed. Like, I was very excited because Yadi and Beauty and Friends had told me some news, or we had figured out some news, and we were like, oh, okay, this is going to be so great. And then I was so excited about that. And then a moment later, literally the next moment later, my mother called me and told me that she had passed. And I had just said to my store manager before, like earlier that day, and we're real cool. And it's just like, I just feel like I'm waiting for that call at this moment. And I was like, I know God is in control, but I was like, I just feel like she's waiting for that call. I'm waiting for that call at this moment. And honestly, like, you know, I had kind of tried to release her anyway and pray. that, you know, God takes her because she wasn't in pain, but she was in pain, and she's very strong, and you're not gonna admit stuff. And yeah, so that's what's really been going on. So of course, like filming, and I wanted to pick up filming because I got the Blend Bunny grunge palette, and Maggie sent this over this way, and I did tell her thank you. I have used it once. I actually wore a look to the wake. It did like a nice little cute simple look, and I told her thank you. You know, I said, but you know, my grandmother just passed, and I wanted to film when I came home with it, but honestly, y'all, I just didn't feel like it. I mean, and I believe my stuff was set up, and I'm like, I just don't feel like it. I just wasn't in the mood, and you know, you're not in the mood sometimes, and it's just like, why force it? So I just needed, you know, some time went by, so I just needed a break. Now we're gonna jump into my Glam Shop singles, woohoo! Because you know they're sparkly, sparkly, delicious. So that day for the concert, yeah. I was just thinking I could have used some other Holos. So I used the holographic shade because, I mean, it was Beyonce, right? And this is Efekt Holo, and I have demoed this on my channel before too, and it's like a silver hologram shade. And so I'm going to lay it down with some glitter glue real quick. Okay, real interesting. Why does this always happen with the NYX glitter glue? And y'all know I am gentle on my products. So at first it was coming out the little side of the tip of, of the applicator of the glitter glue. And I just picked it up out my drawer. It was literally laying in my drawer like that. Oh my dear goodness. Okay. So I used glitter glue. We're going to see if, well, she's still good. I'm just going to put like in a little baggie. I don't know what the deal is with the NYX glitter glue and why it does that, because y'all know my last two did that. And it's, at least it's only $6. So like I said, I haven't been in the mood to film. Work has been super duper stressful. On top of that, one of my main technicians was out on maternity leave, which is awesome. And we were planning for it, but then a series of other events happened on top of my grandmother passing, and it's just been a lot. And I don't know if you guys know, I have like a little boating business with my cousin. I'm not going to say a little boating business. We have a nice boat. We have it out on Lake Michigan here in Chicago, and we rent our boat out for charters. This is the beautiful shade, so I'm just going to put it here. Yes. And, we rent the boat out, and honestly, guys, it's so time consuming, so the days off, I'm doing that, and then I'm also trying to work, and, we make an effort to like greet our customers or send our boats out. We got to come back, the boat comes back in. We have to clean it up. We do have a deckhand that helps with us, and it's 3 of us all together. It's myself and my 2 sister cousins. We're really road dogs. We do everything. We always have so much fun. We went to dinner in the Blanc last week. It was so much fun. So yeah, it's just been a roller coaster, y'all. I've been working. I worked overnight for like 2 weeks. When I say it's been stressful, I'm just looking for my little flat definer brush to hit those corners up where I can't reach. And I've just been, I wouldn't say faking the funk, but I've just been making it. You know what I mean? So like, I definitely still enjoy makeup. I definitely still enjoy YouTube, but I haven't even really been wearing makeup like that at all. It's been crazy. So I just needed a break, and I think that's okay. A lot of people take breaks. So of course, like, I would love to see my channel get bigger, but at the end of the day, this is a hobby. You know what I mean? This is a hobby. So sometimes you just need a moment, because I did not want to, one thing, just like keep pushing myself, in order to like, I got to keep putting content out. just to, you know, go ahead and kind of resent YouTube because I felt like I had to do it. So I'm glad for the nice comments. Thank you. You know what I mean? I still been looking at some of the new releases. I haven't bought a whole lot, but I've bought a few things, and lately I've bought a few more things. But you know, at the end of the day, like I said, this is a hobby. Like, of course, I would like it to grow more and everything like this, but it's not my primary job. Like, you know, being a retail pharmacist right now, y'all, it's just, it's very interesting. My technician, she's younger. She was just like, "Did you always know you wanted to be a pharmacist?" I was like, "Yeah, but you know, it wasn't like this. The demands were not like this when I was in school. When I thought about it, even when I was working in the pharmacy, the people for sure were not as evil. Like, oh my gosh." Now, sometimes I just pray for peace. You know, when I worked overnight, it was just so peaceful. It was like 1 or 2 people. It was just like, all right, whatever. But you know, it was just nice to work and not talk to people. And I don't mind talking to people, but oh my gosh, lately people are just, it's just like the craziest thing. And people are always like, well, you know, what are you doing? You're just throwing pills in a bottle. It's not that simple. You know what I mean? And I was telling my mother, and I really came to this conclusion. I thought about it. I was like, you know, I don't know where you can go and get free and pretty accurate medical advice about any topic for free. Like, you can't call your doctor's office and demand them to get on the phone right now. Like, I cut my arm or whatever, or I have allergies, I have a cold, I have high blood pressure, or can you look at my child's head? What do you think this is? Do I need to take them to the emergency room? And people just get so impatient. Like, people are just so impatient, so rude, so discourteous. Like, it's just, it's insane. So, backtrack to the look real quick. This is where I landed with the look. And I was like, okay, I need a little inner corner pop, you know? But at the moment, I don't know, the shadow looks a little bit extra better today. Extra better, that's not even a word. The shadow looks better today. But at that time, I really wasn't feeling it. I was like, it needs a little something else. So I had my Terra Moons, the same little palette that I had before. And then I went in with Stellar Apotheosis. Look at that. And it was just kind of perfect because it really added that pink, you know, to it. And I didn't put any extra glitter glue on it. And this is kind of like a flakier shade. So what I did is just did this. And I was like, yes, yes, I am ready. I have arrived. Do you see this? I was like, ew. I can't do the little chants and stuff that the guy does on the album and during the tour. But I was like, it should cost $1 billion to look this good. I was like, I am ready. Yes. And then I think, I'm pretty sure, I went in with this other Terra Moon shade. And this is called Moonshine. And I just took a little pop of this and with my flat definer. And I just kind of, I don't know if I did this or not. Maybe I did. I don't know. But we're going to do it now, that's for sure. And put it in my inner corner. You know? So, otherwise, it's just been a lot, y'all. Otherwise, in the grand scheme of things, I'm good. You know, it's just like, take a punch, knock it out. Just dodging, like, you know. So, I just had to just take a break from something. You know what I mean? So, now I feel like, okay, like the boating season is going to be coming winding down because it's August. So I know, first of all, what is Mother Nature on? Y'all have pissed her off. Okay, I've been saying this. Y'all don't believe that global warming is real. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, Maui done burnt down. God bless those folks. That is terrible. I've been working so much, I didn't even know Maui had burnt down until I just woke up one morning because, like I said, I've been working overnight. I was just like, okay. Literally, I don't know what August has been on. Like, August has been cold and rainy, except for like a few days. And then the last 2 days, we had a massive heat wave. Like, it was 115 with the index. And it hasn't been that hot in Chicago. Literally, like, we get hundreds, but I guess with the index, it hadn't been that hot in years. And literally today, I wake up and I'm like, looks a little, I checked the weather. I was like, I had to take my car to the dealership. And that was another thing. Been so busy and running up and down the road. Like, I was like, I got to get my car to the dealership for an oil change. So she's there now. Oh, another little side note, right? Tangent. So they gave me a 2023, excuse me, of the car I have. And I have a 2016. And literally, I was like, these high-tech cars. I was like, you have to press the button in to put it in park. Like, all the gears were rearranged. Like, on my car, I want to say it's like park, reverse, drive. No, park, reverse, drive, maybe neutral, like drive one, drive two. Anyway, it's just like all, this one is like here. And then I was like, I went into Starbucks right after I left the dealership to grab some coffee. And I was like, how do I put the car in park? I was like, here's the P. I was like, it's a button. You push the button. I was like, it's deep. These cars are getting out of control. But the car is beautiful. So if you want to know, it is not a flex. I drive a 2016 that I bought in 2019 that only has 75,000 miles on it, and it's in great condition. So I will be rolling in it. Audi Q3. That's a smaller truck, but this is a Q5 2023, and it's like, you get in it, it's like spaceship status. It's like, oh my gosh, like the technology in these cars are insane. So yes, I was just like, okay, what am I going to throw on so I won't be hot, you know, taking my car, because yesterday was blazing sands. Like, I was at work, working, sweating. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm not all over the place. But we're having construction at work, which is good. Like, the whole pharmacy is being totally revamped, which is a good thing, because baby, that was the other thing. It's like we have this new model of workflow, and it's like we have increased bags, and we had nowhere to put the bags because our pharmacy is so small. So literally, just pouring sweat. And I look up today, I'm like, so it's only 79 degrees today. I'm like, how do we go from 110 over 100 degrees for the last 2 to 3 days, even overnight, it's been still 90 degrees, to today, 79, cloudy. I'm so confused. Somebody, please explain. You know, but that's okay. At least it's not like a hurricane and earthquake coming my way. Yeah, but all right. So we're gonna finish up the eyes, and I'm gonna zoom out to the face, and I'll be back in just a second. I got my lashes on, and I went ahead and used my Velour Lash and Go. I have showed this product so many times. So it's a hybrid between a liner and a glue, and along with the AOA Studio Glue. So I put this on my, actual eyelid, and then put this on the lash. The hold is impeccable, especially on my watery eyes, and it makes it easy to put on lashes if you have trouble. So let's get into the face. The face, I kept it pretty simple, per usual. Have my Fenty Beauty Profilt'r primer. This is the hydrating one. I love her. This is bae for me. She's so moisturizing, and it allows my makeup to sit pretty comfortably, throughout whatever event, activity throughout the day without feeling dry, especially depending on, the finish. Now I'm going to go in with my Haus Labs foundation, and this is in the shade 400 Medium Deep Warm. I love this, but I don't need to put on too much of it ever, okay? And I'm going to take this Real Techniques brush that I just bought. I haven't used it, but majority of my foundation brushes are dirty. Well, I have a lot more that are still kind of clean, but I was like, let me just try this out. And I usually just kind of do a thin amount, and then go from there. Like whatever the excess off on the pump off. And then this is usually probably plenty. It has really great coverage. So, and it can seem a little warm, but it does settle but it's really great, you know, for the summertime. So that is what I've been up to, you know, just working, trying to, you know, get myself together. My sleep is so off from working overnight for like 6 days straight. Technically, I'm a night owl, but, you know, I go to bed because I be having things to do. But, oh my gosh, it's just like, I was off last weekend, and literally Saturday night, I went to bed because Saturday I had to get up and do some things, and I got off work late. So I had stopped working overnights like that Thursday. So Friday I went to work in the regular evening time, but I had to stay late. And then I worked, I went to sleep. I literally slept Saturday night all the way through like 6 p.m. Sunday. So as you can see, it's looking very red at the moment, but it just settles down. And I'm good with that coverage because I don't need any more. This is such a beautiful foundation. This brush, it's not too bad. I like it. I actually prefer to have synthetic brushes for like my face products, actually. So, and the concealer I usually pair with this is my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. And this is the shade 7.5. It is a lighter concealer, but it kind of gives like that little extra drama. And I usually don't put too much concealer. That's why concealers be lasting. And sometimes I put a little here. And I usually never do any here. And now I just have a dirty Angie Hot and Flashy brush to blend at it. And let's see. I'm going to grab some spray. Because, you know, if you want your makeup to last during these concerts, baby, you got to do a little setting spray and stuff, you know? Oh my gosh, it wasn't hot, but it was hot. And oh my gosh, I know I had to go to the restroom. And I was like, let's go to the restroom before we get started, child. Almost died. Let me tell you, because the skirt that I wore, it was kind of like a midi / not midi silver sequin skirt that had fringe down at the bottom. That was silver, you know, sequins fringe. And honey, you know how you try to pull your skirt up so you go to the bathroom? The fringe was getting in the way. I should have just pulled it down, pulled it off, because honey, trying to get that fringe untucked and then it landed up on the inside at the top of my skirt. It was, oh Lord, it was a mess, and I almost died in that bathroom at Soldier Field. Literally. I feel like the two of these just blend. Go ahead, I'm going to set this with my favorite. So I really don't do powder except for this. I just do my Pat McGrath under eye powder. This is the shade in yellow right here. And I just usually pick this up with this particular Real Techniques brush and just lightly set that. And sometimes if I look a little shiny because of the foundation, if it's not like, you know, setting in, I might just do those areas too. Now, you know, we got to bronze it up. So I got another Real Techniques brush, and this is just like an angled brush. It doesn't even have the name on it anymore. But I have the Pat McGrath bronzer, Pat McGrath bronzer. And this is in the shade Burnished Honey. So it's one of the deeper shades. I feel like she could have went a little bit deeper with these bronzers. But, you know, okay, Pat. And just going to hit my forehead up and the perimeters of my face. Because, like, I feel like this bronzes me. But at the same time, I'm like, because right now I'm like, do I see it? I see it, but I don't see it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really happy with that bronzing situation right there. So I'm just going to go in with my Juvia's Place bronzer. And this is the shade Tan. And they're probably the same colors. But I just feel like sometimes this shows up a little bit better. See, it just feel like, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I'm tripping or something. I feel better. The two together, it's like, yeah. Then on my cheeks, I really don't know what I took, but I'm sure it was like a pinky blush. So I'm going to go with this Besame, you know, blush palette. This is by It's About Cosmetics. And I'm going to go in with Me Gustas because it's just like a you know, a nice standard pink. Because I had on a bright pink lipstick, you know, in the theme with the Renaissance, the metals, the pinks. This eye, I'm living for it. These two shades layered together. And for my highlighter, I know I didn't go anything but too crazy. I think I actually just took, let's see, my fave right here, which is the Knockout highlighter. This is shade Knockout, and this is a collaboration I Maybelline did with Puma. Like, you see how long it takes to pan these dang on products? Because first of all, do y'all understand how long I've had this highlighter? And this is just my Christian Siriana brush. Y'all seen this before. And I've hit pan on this highlighter so many times before, but it's just, or maybe, oh, so I had silver. This is more gold. It's not bad. But did I do opal? This is Becca opal. You know Becca, R.I.P. But yeah, I might have did this. Yeah. So we're more cool tone. And I love this look because it's silver, but this is like the right type of silver on my warm complexion. You know what I mean? And then the colors are just dancing. Now there's one thing, I'm going to save it for the end. I think I'm going to do it in the video that I did not do at the concert. And I was like, I should have did that. But I didn't. And it was rhinestones. But you know, okay. You live, you learn. All right, now real quick, I'm going to add some eyeliner. This is just my Pat McGrath Permagel eyeliner in the shade Extreme Black. Bad Girl Bang mascara. Now to top it all off, I went in with this Kaleidos lip clay, and this is in Cactus Flower, and it's such a good pink. This is a look. So this was the look. Now I'm going to give you some earrings, and I don't know, we're going to pop a couple of rhinestones on. Let's do it up. I got me some earrings, and man, I've had these earrings literally probably pre-pandemic. I got them from Express, and I was like, oh, these would be so fun. But, you know, I was like, let me put my hair up so you can actually see the earrings. And this headband, if you want to know, is from Shein. So it was like $2. I got one in gold. Also, seems a little off balance. But I put my hair up in a little bun, and it's just so we can showcase the earrings. And they're actually not that heavy because I can't really tolerate heavy earrings anymore. So what I thought we would do, rhinestone it up. So I have these rhinestones left over from, let's see, when I did that Nail It challenge with Pat McGrath. And what I did, I recreated a look, and I had rhinestones all underneath there. So I think I'm just going to put a couple right there. We're going to play around with it. Let's see. I'm going to need some tweezers. How about that? Okay, probably not the best tweezers. We're going to roll with it, okay? And I am going to take, I'm not going to take the pink, but I'm going to take the crystal. These are kind of, well, I have two of the smaller ones left, so let's see. And then my next size are the larger down here. So maybe I'll do 2 and 2. I don't know. I'm just going to put them on the outer corners. I thought that would be a fun little thing. And these actually do self-stick. So my girl Marlo Keenan, hey Marlo, I haven't talked to you in a long time. She put me on these because she would wear them. And I'm like, well, where did you get these little rhinestones from? Did you like Amazon? I was like, that per usual, right? This is so much fun. I'm having so much fun, guys. And I've never worn these out in public, so I can't tell you like, yes, this is gonna last. I mean, I guess as long as you don't touch your face and stuff, right? Okay. All right, guys. So I absolutely love how this look came out. This brought me so much joy. I feel like I kind of needed this to get the stress out of my system, to play with the makeup. Beyonce Inspire, which really allows you to kind of go any direction with the makeup, especially right now with the whole Renaissance tour. You know, it's been taking over. So, yes, I am so excited. So catch my next video where I'm actually going to be doing a Renaissance tag. My girl, Kara, you know, she was like, you got to do it. I was like, okay, you're calling me. And this is such a fun challenge to just kind of get back into the groove and the swing of things. So look out for more from me. But let me see. I've bought a few things. So I did get the Pat McGrath and I got it as a birthday present. I got the Blend Bunny Forget Me Not palette. I got my little Hershey's Cookies and Cream. This is my favorite candy bar. Yes, and the packaging is super adorable. Like, it takes a lot of work to get it back in this packaging, might I add. But yeah. But it's just a joy and a pleasure to be back to YouTube. So I hope you guys continue to stay rock with me. Welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. And oh my gosh, did I forget how we end things around here? Okay, so tell me how you like this look. Let me know down below. Leave me a comment. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. Baby, it was like riding a bike. I was able to get it out. It's time for the chair dance. Chair dance. Hey, 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 chair dance. Chair dance. Hey, 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 Jenny. Alien superstar. Hey, I'm too sexy for this world. Forever my girl. Hey. I had to give y'all a little extra on the chair dance. All right, y'all. Bye.